Critics believe it's a clever forgery with a damning detail lifted from a later genuine letter, the signature of President Truman.
Now, anyone familiar with forensic document analysis knows that a person signing their name never signs it twice in the exact same way. And that suggested to us that the signature from the later genuine non-UFO document was cut out by the forger and pasted onto this false executive order to lend an air of authenticity to it.
They say the signature on there is identical to another signature from a different memo, which I found in the first place. I say if you hold them up to a light table, they are clearly not identical.
Former supporters now believe it's a con. For them, the copy is too exact.
For me, the clincher is that lifted signature. However, let me say I am convinced that whoever fabricated that document, if it was fabricated, must have had inside knowledge. There's no way it could be otherwise. And there's no question that the Majestic 12 papers have indeed pointed people in the right direction. And I think essentially the information contained therein is accurate.
To get a good view of government UFO files, one group goes to court. The National Security Agency protests in an affidavit. The judge refuses to let them read the contents.
We filed for the 21-page above top secret affidavit. The judge had referenced it in his finding, and we eventually got it. The only trouble is, as you start to go through it, you find that it's blacked out, and pretty soon all blacked out. 75% of the document isn't there, and people say, scrape away the black, there's nothing underneath. They Xerox it first.
In the eyes of the state, there is no need to know why there is no need to know.
The cover-up alone is proven by the released documents, released by agencies such as the FBI, who denied any involvement in UFO research until the Freedom of Information Act showed that they'd been lying. They released 1,100 pages of documents. CIA denied any interest in the subject. Suddenly we have now, I would think, thousands of pages of UFO-related information dating back to the 1940s, which quite clearly indicates that there has been a cover-up.
100,000 cases are archived at the private Center for UFO Studies. Mainstream science ignores them.
I am convinced by over 20 years of work in this field that there is a mysterious phenomenon occurring that is being neglected by science, not by the public, but by science. And it's to science's detriment that it's doing so.
The data gather dust. Elsewhere, governments launch more active studies. The former Soviet Union, March 1990. Interceptors scramble to investigate pulsing lights northeast of Moscow. For 3.5 hours, they stalk the UFO, which moves at speeds up to 3,000 miles an hour. No radar image appears on the screens of ground stations. Thermal imaging produces results. The UFO is photographed. The secret results are proof for the Chief of Air Defense Forces.
This 1990 case is the only one supported by evidence. All other possible contact reports by both civil and military aircraft are merely eyewitness accounts. This is the only case for which there is concrete proof.
His pilots do not fire on UFOs.
As far as official instructions are concerned, we in air defense have certain unwritten rules that mean we only use radar and not armaments against UFOs.
Nor are personnel seeing Western stealth planes.
We never thought it was American stealth aircraft. The radar characteristics are not the same. Stealth behaves like a plane in terms of speed and maneuverability. UFOs are very different.
Their files list many cases. This pilot finds a light closing on him. There's contact. The aircraft goes into a rapid descent. On landing, there's damage to the left wing. From 1977 on, an official Ministry of Defense study collects hundreds of reports. They hope to gain alien technology for military use. The covert research continues. Is this a UFO or smoke from a gunnery exercise? Mass observation of UFOs is nothing new in the East. Is this UFO a balloon? Never before seen in the West, this amateur footage purports to show a UFO over the parliament in Vilnius, capital of Lithuania. It hovers noiselessly, appearing to land. It moves unlike a normal helicopter or plane. At dawn the next morning, local militia video this nearby. Enhanced, the night visitor looks like this. Hundreds of people see a giant UFO over the city of Petrozavodsk in northwest Russia in 1977. Hasty studies establish that it's an optical phenomenon, the burning booster rocket from the secret launch of a man-made satellite. At the Soviet Academy of Sciences, such phenomena are considered worthy of serious inquiry. In addition to the country's military study, the governing body for academic research coordinates the country-wide collection of information for scientific analysis. The building houses the Central Committee for the Study of UFOs, which gathers data from 10 other scientific academies.
We carry out research in two ways. One is passive. We analyze UFO reports. The other way is active. For some sightings, we carry out investigations in the field.
12 years of research are carried out at this site. Train passengers see a UFO approach. They say a metallic craft landed here. Biologist Professor Simyakov believes there are permanent changes to the scene.
This is the landing place where we carried out some interesting tests. We did experiments in both physics and biology.
His experiments find living creatures shun these spots. Divining rods find unusual spiral energy patterns at UFO landing sites. 20 years of studies produce similar results. From the early days on, the ground inside is empty of all life, even microbes. According to his measurements, inside the circles, time speeds up. Most puzzling of all, Earth samples taken from landing sites contain tiny spheres. His work leads him to conclude these are extraterrestrial, containing DNA, the seed of life itself. Tests in America are divided.